it, and I kept thinking, and then I thought to myself about how family.
Yo, man, you're kicking a lot of
First of all,
knowledge.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just actually just resting. I'm in Florida. I want to tell you I appreciate your apology. I've always kind of stayed away from you because I knew you was in a relationship with my group member, and obviously we've been knowing each other since we were kids, right? So teens and whatnot, and we've all grew up and we've all went down our own paths. For me, I stand by everything that you just said because that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? God put you in this position. God's given you this platform. God has made you enlightened. So it's not really about what anybody else thinks. It's about what you know is what's right in your heart. If you know you need to feed your baby, it's not because, oh, I'm going to be a bad mom, I'm not going to feed my kid. No, you need to feed your kid because you love your kid. And it's your job to nurture and take care of your kid because no one's going to take care of your kid the way you would. One time I'll show you.
Right,
Second time I'll help you. Third time you're on your own. And that's how the world is.
right.
For me, a lot of people don't really know this, but I'll say this because we are. Um, Tomorrow's not promised, so if it be in God's will. I have always been, I want to call it like a innocent bystander. I never wanted to be an immature. My brother wanted to be an immature. My brother had a relationship with Chris. I didn't know them, but what I did know is the first time I learned how to masturbate, I was at Chris's house. Ricky was on one side of the bed, and my cousin Tony Scott was on the other side of the bed. Why am I learning at 5 or 6 years old how to jack off at Chris Stokes' house? Right? Years down the road, before you know it, I hear stories of Ricky about to be an immature, before Marcus Houston was an immature, before Imani. Imani called me on my 33rd birthday. He said, they're going
Wow.
to see me. Got my number randomly. So I'm just looking, I'm like, so now I'm over here living with Chris. My mom was going through what she was going through. I'm living with Chris. And before you know it, the process starts. Starts with Chris, starts with Marcus, so on. I don't need to name too many names. It is what it is.
Hmm.
I've always tried to be diplomatic and keep my personal business or my family business out of the media. Now, once I told my brother what had happened to me, he contacted someone. I don't want to say that person's name too, out of respect. But it was a producer's son that worked with Chris for a very long time. And long story short, they decided to upload that first video. That's like me and you at chilling at the house, at your family's house, we in the back in the pool making a steak or something, and I tell you some shit, and maybe you're holding the recorder, but you run off and you have it uploaded, not knowing, thinking that it's helping a good cause, but it didn't. When that video
Right,
came out, I just did a deal with Zab Judah because it was the three of us, and we were supposed to show up for New Year's. It wasn't a lot of money, but because Zab was a good friend of mine, but I think it was like 10 grand. I gave each one of the boys 3 bands. You know, I'm always looking out for everybody. I threw Ricky a stack for bringing the deal to the table because we were just still, moving around looking for new management. Well, when that video came out, everybody had to push back. Now, when everybody pushed back, I tried to be cool with everybody. First thing I see, your baby father, I don't fuck with homos. Why you coming at me, my nigga? Like, for real. Why you coming at me? You want me to talk about your business? You feel me? So to each his own. Everybody has their own stories. You know what I'm saying? We can all speculate. I only want to speak on my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I have respect and integrity for people. But even I was just looking recently. I was like, in my last two interviews, from Vlad to Breakfast Club, I was still very diplomatic in how I chose to move past. You get more bees with honey. Why should I?
right.
It's a family matter. It should be handled eternally, and that's how it should have been. But when I know people are fucking with me, trying to put me on the phone. If I really wanted to reconnect with my cousin, there's a way that needs to be done. You can't just spring that on me and tell me, hey, how do you feel about your cousin dressing you? Huh? How do I feel about my cousin dressing me for the Millennium Tour, so on and so forth?
Right,
I respect certain people's movement and how they try to move because we're public figures, right? We don't need our business out there.
right.
But hold on, didn't God put us in a position to actually help people and lead people, not mislead people? So we wind up being, whether we know it or not, we wind up being a part of the problem versus a part of the solution. So I sat back. I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. I speak in tongues, you know. long story short, Chris, Jehovah's Witnesses, and we see how they're moving over there. But I remember my mom lived with Irene, which is his mother, and my brother and myself. They kicked us out because we didn't go to the Kingdom Hall with them. Years later, the light, me, I go to live with Chris. We built an empire together. Chris told me after I flipped over his desk, he said, everybody's jealous of our relationship. Not knowing when you're a kid, you don't really know what's going on. But I'm designing the tour stages. I'm doing a lot. So whether I know it or not, people are getting jealous. I remember on the You Got Served set, they was like, yo, we think it's time for you to get out and move. And I just looked at them like I thought I was a part of the circle. Like, I thought this is my family. You got
Get
guardians.
out of the group?
Just leave, period. They was at that
Wow.
time they was making, let me get Amari, I got Marcus, and you know, shout out to Amari, shout out to Orion. I know, they do their own thing. And I just respect the fact that years later, being diplomatic, people still decided that, you know what, Raz is a good dude. He went out of his way to buy the trademark, put it in everybody's name. He went out of his way to make sure he found $3 million so we all could bring back B2K so God can get the glory. Regardless of what happened on the tour, I felt like me personally, I would have never not allowed for one of my group members to finish the tour over my dead body. There would be no way I would go on stage and be like, nah, I'm doing this not unless I'm forced to. Like I was in jail those 2 nights, you know what I'm saying, for that incident. So I just felt like I don't care if nobody believes me or don't nobody believe me. My truth, my testimony, how I move my life and how I move, the truth is evident, right? And I agree with you when, as a community, we're supposed to support each other. Now, I was in China, I got hurt. Everybody almost thought I was dead because, once again, Ricky put out a fake press release. But I got a chance to see what it was like if I was dead. And I was watching Twitter and all the people that was supporting and all this. And I was like, damn, so many people die because they're hurting, they're in pain, they're alone. And where was everybody? So my same thing right now is, where the fuck was everybody then? They were always been there. They just didn't have the courage. Not everybody's filled with the Holy Ghost. Not everybody's bold. Not everybody speaks in tongues. Not everybody's going to stand up to the big bad wolf and say, hey. And that's kind of what that was in the last week. It was like, Jason Lee wants to give me my flowers. She was on the interview that he did back in 2007 with Charlotte Mann, Claudia Jordan. And anybody that's know Raz, they know, like you said, I'm about love and positivity. Now, if you push over me, I'm going to push back on you. Now, I'm not going to do anything to incriminate myself. I'm not going to do anything to hurt anybody. But I do have a voice, and my voice speaks volumes. And like I said, I'm a 35-year-old man, and I want to fade. Fuck the courts. Fuck all the streets. I want to fade.
So that was going to be my next question. So what, at the end of this, aside from...
Sorry, go ahead.
Aside from the fade, hold on, Red. Yes? What time is it? Is it? Oh, snap. Yeah, we'll leave in 8 minutes. Did you put on basketball clothes? You have clean ones in the dryer. Okay, you have your basketball shoes? You need a ball? They're in the garage in the corner behind the go-kart. On the right-hand side, on the other side of Mommy's truck. Sorry, we have basketball practice.
No, that's so.
So my quick one question before I go, and then maybe we'll set a time to come back, so we could really get into it. But before I go, my question is, aside from the fade, what is your ultimate wish or goal? Like, I know you said the polygraph, a catch and a fade, which is both are fair. But is the goal, like, what does justice for Raz look like to Raz? Like,
oh man,
are you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
Not only just helping other people,
right,
but
that's inevitable.
Right. So not just that being a goal, and not just freeing yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally from that. You deserve an apology from really the world because you've been gay shamed, you're this, you're that, your career, your character, your image, all of that has been tarnished. So aside from getting that back, what does justice for you, to you, look like? Is that Chris apologizing? Is that jail time? Is that, you know, he says sorry and you guys part ways and never speak, deal about each other, to each other, with each other again? You get to stand in your glory, stand at the top of the mountain, hold your dick, and aha, fuck you. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or is it just,
Right. I think
you know what I mean?
no, I got you. I'll let you go because I know you got to take care of Cam. It's all of that. You know, whatever's coming to him for what the things that he's done, he knows. And there's so many people that are ready. You feel me? So he made his bed. He has to lie in it. In a perfect world, I would love an apology publicly. I would love this. I would love him to be like, you know what? I love you.